My BF, 19 meters, broke up with me, 17F, over anime crush. Got into a huge argument yesterday about some things and what we need to fix, etc. I told him I really like to read fanfiction and anime characters are basically my escape from reality. I know the difference between reality and fiction, so why is it an issue? I received several texts while I was sleeping since he works the night shift saying he asked people at his job about if it's okay etc and telling me they're saying it's not. Also sent me someone's Reddit post about their husband being obsessed with a character. The difference with me is that I'm not obsessed at all. He then proceeded to Google about it saying people who have crush on cartoon character are mentally ill. He also said stuff like those characters aren't gonna be the ones that love you, like I literally know that. I already told him I know reality separates from fiction. Then sent me these texts saying, 1. Your family and lover isn't supposed to come second to no one. 2. Why should your happiness have to crush me when there is so many other things that can make you happy? 3. I have many hobbies that make me happy and not a single one gets in the way of our relationship, so you need to realize what you are doing is wrong. 4. Just think of it like this: if your kids was on the line, would you stop or just let them go? You would stop, right? Cause you actually love your kids unconditionally, unlike me where I always have to provide something to make you happy and love me. 5. Talked to this old lady named Karen about it and she said don't let a girl tell you she loves you if she can't adapt to the way you want to be loved, cause if you go to a doctor and ask for medicine and they give you the wrong one, are they helping you or making it worse? He then texted me saying not to reply until he wakes up, which is annoying. Am I being crazy or something? Like it's just a fictional character, a literal pixel. Please someone tell me you understand me, I really need help. I'm already emotionally disconnected from this relationship. I tried opening up to him about something that makes me happy and this is what I get. Edit to people thinking I always talk about the crush. Not the case at all. I told him about the crush and tried to get him to understand it's something that makes me happy when I'm feeling down, to think of my favorite characters. He then proceeded to tell me I can't love him if I love something that isn't real because he thinks that if they were real then I would leave him, which isn't true. He then called people who do like anime characters in that way mentally ill and calling me crazy. He then manipulated me into saying every relationship he'll get into I will be broken up with over the anime characters. This whole situation is ridiculous in general. On why he would get mad at it, I never once mentioned my hobby to him, so he definitely isn't coming second. Edit 2. We've broken up and he did try and beg me for another chance, but it was the same bullshit all over again. I haven't cried at all and feel a lot better, so thanks everyone. Too long didn't read. BF and I breaking up over something fictional. Is this the same guy who raped you? I just got called mentally ill by a random Redditor's boyfriend. Edit, who's your favorite character op? Mine is either Erin Giger or Erwin Smith, Bruno Bucciarati and Leona Bacchio. He's being so immature. Just lose his number and enjoy your anime. Spend my life reading fanfiction and am anime obsessed. But like you say op, I know what's real and what's not, most of the time. Smiley face. My boyfriend is happy, I'm happy. That's all there is to it. Doesn't affect our relationship because why the hell would it? Throw the whole man away. It's not the anime, it's him. When I was 16 I dated this 19 years guy who told me I was too nerdy for him after I went to a comic con. I asked him, oh, okay, are we breaking up then? He started crying like I can't believe you'd say that, why can't you just be different? I ended up staying with him another year and it was miserable. This seems like you dodged a bullet. I'm sure there's way more to this story and maybe he had a legit reason to feeling concerned and possibly feeling like you were violating a boundary. But the way he acted, he whipped himself into a frenzy over this, and that makes me think just what would he have done if there had been a more serious issue? Nothing good. I'm almost willing to wager he's tossing and turning in bed getting more angry. Break up, block him, move on. My 26, husband, 28, never asks me for anything. Hey everyone, I need to know what to do about my husband because I'm honestly struggling to understand him. So, he and I been married for a year and dated for 2 years before this. We only started living together after we got married, so I never really noticed this before. My husband never asks me for anything, and when I say this, I mean anything. He never asks me to make him a meal, or grab the remote, or even close a door that I opened. Hell, even if I offer he declines. The other day for example I was in the kitchen making a meal, and I asked him if he wanted me to make him anything. He declined saying he wasn't hungry. Then not even 10 minutes later he's making himself a sandwich, one I could have easily made for him. Or, a couple weeks ago he ripped his pants and needed to get it redone, and instead of asking me, a woman who loves to sew, he decided to pay for a tailor to do it when I easily could have for free. It's not even these scenarios. He could have a headache, and not ask me to get him medicine, his car could break down, and instead of asking me for a ride he'll Uber. He could come home from an exhausting shift at work, and instead of having me make him something, he'll go to sleep without eating. I'm honestly starting to resent him. Why does he need to do everything himself? Isn't having someone to rely on the point of having a partner? I know a lot of women complain about their husbands relying on them too much, to do their dishes, and pick up after them, and to make them meals, like the women on the Breaking Moms subreddit. But come on, he can't ask me for a ride to work? I rely on him for a lot of things. I guess it'd be nice if he did the same. Can anyone explain why he's like this? I'd say he likely was made to feel like a burden in his youth when he asked for some time, so he avoids it. He loves you and doesn't want to be a burden on your life by you having to do stuff for him. My significant other was like this too. He declined any offer I made, and instead of letting him do it, I did it anyway. If he was out of water, I would just fill it up with joy. If I know he hasn't eaten and I'm going to get food or make something, I make some for him too. Eventually he saw that I cared about him and loved doing it for him, so he's slightly more comfortable for asking for help. I suffer with a lot of childhood trauma, and I'm pretty positive that's why he had issues with asking. Childhood trauma potentially. I'm the exact same way. I do everything myself. Growing up I was always called lazy for not doing stuff around the house myself. I was always scared of using my parents' money cause I always thought in the back of my head that they hate me for using their money. Hey, my parents outright told me they hated me for being such a burden. Can't believe your school fees are $100 this year. This is fucking ridiculous and you're a piece of shit. God, I fucking hate you so much. You're going to pay me back for this as soon as possible, and until then you're not coming out of your room except for school and dinner. My mother, summer 2001. I was 9. Yeah, I'm like this. Hyper-independence is a trauma response. Mine are from childhood emotional neglect and then an abusive partner who threw everything they ever did for me in my face. Now I ask for no help nor accept any given. I definitely recommend individual and couples therapy. Have an open conversation with him about this. It might give you some insight into why he's this way. Someone below hit the nail on the head that it probably stems from being made to feel like a bother sometime in his life, probably from childhood. I, 26F, got it by my father for the first time. My first time posting here. I'm living with my parents currently, looking for ways to move out soon. But for context on what happened, we were eating dinner and I'm on my phone because I'm watching a live show and I told them it's important, for my job. He wants me to put it back down. I talked back saying it can't be replayed and it's important. He still insisted and kept yelling to stop and put it away until I went to the sink to wash my plate after eating and he still kept talking and I talked back what's so wrong with watching it and proceeded to slap and punch me in the face, and said he wanted to kill me. I didn't cry in front of him and because of that he said that I'm not scared of him, when I'm physically shaking and my face is kinda bruising, it's not bleeding, and proceeded to say that I'm acting and faking it. I'm scared of him now and I don't want to be near him. He's raising his voice and kept pointing at me and said that I wanted to be embarrassed. My mental health isn't really stable as I'm dealing with depression few years ago and I'm struggling with social anxiety. Then later, he said that I hope I will forgive him because God forgives too. I stayed silent, I just couldn't forget his face while hitting me. He told me it was all my fault too. Proceeded to say that I don't know how to talk and explain myself well. This still makes me cry because I'm really trying. Since we're living in the same house, I just don't know what to do, and I don't want to forgive him and I don't want to ignore him either. Any advice? Edit. Thank you for all the concerns and advices. I cried reading almost all of them because you have way more concern for me than my parents. My mother didn't even check my bruises or asked if I was fine. I have decided not to press any charges right now. I hope you understand. If this happens again I will definitely will. It's just that he's totally normal now. He pretends nothing had happened last night, trying to forget it. I want to give it a few days and figure it all out then. And no, he wasn't drunk, he's perfectly sober. Other than my face hurting and a slight headache, I'm all good. Well, mentally not well, but I'll get there. Thank you again everyone and have a wonderful day. Move out and press charges. Find a social worker who can help find resources. I support filing a police report. My dad punched me when I was an adult and I pressed charges, even though we were living in the same house. In the US there are local resources that put domestic violence victims in hotels, or sometimes they will make your dad leave the property so you can stay there. My dad eventually got a misdemeanor and I dropped the PFA and we get along okay now. Nobody has the right to put hands on you. It's never an isolated incident. Abusers keep doing what they can get away with. Also, if he's doing it at this late stage in your life when he wasn't abusive in childhood, he seriously might be losing his mind and has a lot of work to do on his mental health that a court-mandated therapist might help with. HTH+GL. You were beaten by your father, this is serious. Leave that house at all costs. Phone a local women's shelter and explain what happened, they can help. This is a huge deal, and if it's a new behavior and unlike him, then you need to get him to a doctor immediately. If this is in line with how he behaves at other times, please report this to law enforcement. If it's happened to you, it's normal for your other parent. It's the first time that happened to me. Also, the thing is he's Asian, very traditional and Christian. I do not think he believes in anything that concerns mental health, including his. He told me it was all my fault too. No, it's not. You're not responsible for other people's actions. He might have been really mad at you, but that's no excuse to hit on you. Must be very difficult for you right now, seeing that this is the first time ever he has done this, so you're probably in denial. Can't believe it. You might have to report him. You're not his punching bag. And as for you, maybe try therapy. I'm sorry for everything you're going through. I wish you all the best and the best possible outcome for you and your family. It's been hours and I'm still crying about it. But thank you for the kind words. I'll take therapy into consideration. Relieved face.